Welcome back to the Barbecue Lab. My name is David Gafford, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive review look at the Traeger Ironwood 885 pellet grill. We've got all the details coming up. Let's start with the product information. The cooking surface on the Traeger Ironwood 885 actually tells us that there are 885 square inches of cooking surface on this grill. Now that comes in two different layers. There's the bottom layer and then there's the top shelf. Now with those two in there, the total is actually 885 square inches. This unit has a cooking range of 165 degrees all the way on the low end up to 500 degrees on the top end. That allows this unit to be able to do everything from extremely low and slow cooking all the way up to high heat grilling. The assembled dimensions on this grill are 54 inches wide by 47 inches high and 27 inches deep. Now the unit also boasts a weight of 175 pounds when fully assembled. Now this unit came packaged in a very large box on a pallet that came on a truck. Now when it came here, you look at that box and you go, man, that thing is pretty big. A lot of that's because it's mostly assembled for you minus the legs. But the packaging on this box is a lot of fun because once you actually take the grill out of the box, you look on the inside and the inside of the box is completely printed. It's actually a rustic Traeger cabin that you can build for the kids. And I gotta tell you, it is a really, really cool feature for something that you normally just throw away. You can put a roof on the cabin, and it actually allows the kids something to play with while you're assembling the grill. Now, if you're like other Traeger users across the country who've had their boxes that their kids have played with, many of them last for many months afterwards, and it's just a great marketing move by Traeger. But it's a lot of fun, so when you get your Traeger, don't just take the box and throw it away right away. If you have any kids around or grandkids, save that box. They're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Assembly on this unit took us right around 45 minutes. Now, when you're assembling it, it says 2 people are needed. I completely agree that 2 people are needed because in the assembly, to get the legs on, you have to lay the unit down on its back. And you have to be able to, at some point, move the unit all the way onto the lid where you're gonna have this thing completely upside down on the garage floor or wherever you're building it. So having a second person is a necessity, so make sure that you plan on having a second person around when it comes time. It didn't take very long, right around 45 to an hour is what it took us, but I gotta tell you, it was a pretty easy process. We assemble a lot of grills here at the Barbecue Lab, but this is one of the easier ones that we've ever had to assemble. Now with any pellet grill, you need to make sure that you have a chance to season the grill and cook off any of the manufacturing oils that are on the grill when you receive it. Now Traeger gives us instructions to cook this off at 350 degrees for 20 minutes, and then after that 20-minute mark, to kick the grill up to 500 degrees for another half hour or 30 minutes. Now, once you've done that, you've effectively burned off all the manufacturing oils and you're ready to cook. Now there's a safety feature I want to talk about on this grill. There's a lot of things you can do with this intelligent grill with an app that you can actually use to control it, and you can use the smart panel on the front. But one of the safety features I like is that you cannot turn this grill on without being physically present at the grill. Now there's a whole lot of other things you can do, but that is a safety feature that I actually really like. Would it be more convenient if I could come out and just start the grill from my app inside while I'm not even looking outside? Sure. But I mean, who knows if someone's gonna throw their Barbie doll on here or if I left the cover on. There's enough reasons not to be able to include that as a feature that I like that that's a safety feature that's built in. Now, I wanna talk about this grill as a smoker because first and foremost, I truly believe that this Traeger unit is a smoker first. If you look at this unit, you'll see that there is an entire grease tray or a deflector tray that's actually moving all of the grease out of the grill into the grease bucket, and that makes it so that you're actually cooking everything indirectly on this grill. That means there's no direct access to fire across the whole entire surface, so that's why I call this a smoker first. Now, we've made quite a few different meals on this unit. Around that giant football game that is really incredible, and I can't say the word of it due to the fact that there's copyright around it, and we could get sued and have to take our video down. But just think about the biggest football game of the year and how giant it is. For that, we made candy bacon chicken bites, and we made pepper poppers and jalapeno poppers, and it was a lot of fun cooking on this unit for the big game. Now for the pepper poppers, we took those peppers, cut them in half, de-seeded them, and filled them with cream cheese, and then wrapped the outside in bacon. The same thing with those candy bacon chicken bites. We took chicken thighs, cut them into small bite-sized pieces, and then wrapped them in bacon, stuck a toothpick through, then covered them in brown sugar and barbecue rub. They are delicious, and I've just got to tell you, this grill did a fantastic job putting a good crisp on that bacon while allowing things to stay moist all the way through. Now, another cook that we did on this unit is we wanted to smoke some beef plate ribs. Now, and I wanted to really test out the super smoke mode that's available on this Traeger, and so what we did is we set our grill to 225, and I pressed the super smoke mode button for these ribs. I was initially suspect of the super smoke mode. I didn't know if it was going to be everything that I was expecting it to be or not, but setting it to 225, putting on that super smoke mode button, I did see more smoke coming out of the back of the grill. And that's one of the things that I really like about this unit, is that pellet grills are not always known for having an excessive amount of smoke. Now, for the ability for me to be able to get more smoke between 165 and 225, I really like that feature, and they did a great job on these beef plate ribs that we cooked. Having the super smoke mode on was like having an additional pellet tube in the chamber giving off additional smoke. That's something I've used on pellet grills that were a little bit less expensive than this one, that didn't have all the features, to be able to get more smoke when I wanted it. But it was like having that extra pellet tube, just letting the computer take care of that for me, and I really like that. Now, another meal we made on the Traeger was a pot roast that we were planning on having for dinner. A lot of times we'll just take our giant Le Creuset Dutch oven and we'll put potatoes and carrots and onions and mushrooms and all kinds of things in there with the pot roast and just let it go in the oven for 4 or 5 hours. But instead we thought, let's just throw it on the Traeger and see how it does. Now, I just have to say, there was a nice smoky flavor that was infused to all the vegetables and the meat, and I really like that. Even the kids enjoyed that for dinner. The wife definitely enjoyed it. I just have to say, the pot roast is something you can definitely make in the oven or you can make in the crock pot, but the addition of that wood flavor that you get using a pellet grill is something that is my preferred method of making it. So I've just got to say, I loved making that pot roast, and it was a lot of fun having that on this unit. Now, as we film this video, right here we actually have applesauce going on the grill, and we actually have a homemade meatloaf that we're smoking over here, and that's something that we're also trying out on this grill that we're looking forward to. Now, making applesauce on the grill, that's a lot of fun. You cut up your apples, you add a little bit of cinnamon to them, stick them on the grill in a cast iron or a Dutch oven, and they're going to come out a great applesauce. And a meatloaf, we've got that recipe on our website. If you want to check out our meatloaf recipe, smoked meatloaf is right up here in the card. It is delicious, and I'm excited about dinner. Now, even though I think this is a smoker first, we also did some grilling on this unit. Now, I think about my dad's old charbroil grill that he had while we were growing up. That thing had flame ups all over the place. We were constantly trying to push the flame ups down. We had hot spots on the grill. It was kind of hard to actually get an even cooking surface. One of the things I like about the Traeger is that I have an even cooking surface across the top. Now, there's actually 2 different places that you can set that bottom cooking rack in the Traeger. If you actually set it right on the regular spot, that's for smoking, where you can have this convection type cooking go all the way around your meat or your vegetables or whatever you're cooking, but that's at the top setting. On the lower setting, where you put the grate right on top of that deflector plate, you actually are closer to that radiant heat that you get from the heat of the deflector plate, and it actually allows you to get better sear marks on what you're cooking. We cooked a couple sets of chicken breasts over the last week, and the first one was dry rubbed with one of our favorite rubs, and the second one was done in a wet marinade. Now, we actually took the grill all the way up to 500 degrees, and we cooked that dry rubbed chicken at 500 degrees, and we got some pretty good grill marks on that chicken. The wet marinated chicken, we actually only took it to 350 degrees, and we cooked it over a longer period of time. Now that marinade didn't have any sugar in it, so we weren't seeing caramelization like you might expect in some wet marinades. That wet marinade is just one that we've had in our family for years, but really didn't have anything that's going to help it caramelize. Now I have to admit that I wouldn't have even known about this 2 different positions for that lower grate if I hadn't have read the owner's manual like a nerd. And I admit it, I'm nerd and proud, but I read that manual cover to cover, and I learned a couple fun things, and one of them was that there's just 2 different positions for the lower grate. So I'm just going to say, every now and then, it's okay to take out the manual and read it. You learn some fun stuff. Now, when it comes to storing this grill, we've actually kept this grill outside the entire time we've had it, and we have the optional canvas cover that really fits the smoker like a glove. Now, it's made of a thick canvas, so it's really rugged, and when you put that thing on, I recommend having a second person help you, because when you put that thing on, it is fitted and it fits tight. Now, I love that it fits tight because we don't have to worry about it blowing away, and we have some decent wind here in the Midwest. I mean, as we're filming this video right now, we have to keep stopping for the wind. But even knowing that, when I have this cover on this grill, I don't worry about it blowing away because it's such a good fit. Really like the cover. Traeger gives you a 3-year limited warranty on this grill, and if you want to find out more about the warranty, just check out the website at Traeger.com, and you can learn everything that's covered, how long it's covered, what is optional, what's included. All the details are there on the Traeger site. Now, as we go through a grill review like this, we like to really talk about what we loved about the unit. And the first thing I want to talk about is the pellet sensor. There's a sensor in the pellet hopper that tells you how many pellets you have remaining. You can see how many pellets are remaining on the app. You can see how many pellets are remaining on the grill. It just gives you 100% all the way down to empty, and it's nice because all it does is tells you when you're about to run out of pellets. And if you have this connected to Wi-Fi, it'll even give you warnings on your phone that you're starting to get low on pellets. That's a feature that I love on this grill, and I haven't run into that on any other pellet smokers on the market yet. A second thing I really liked is how sturdy this grill is. When you start thinking about pellet grills, not every one of them is really sturdy, but this unit is sturdy. It's not going anywhere. And so I like the fact that even though there's not a shelf on the bottom to give it extra rigidity, this grill holds together tight and it is sturdy. Something else that I really appreciate about this grill, which is something that most reviewers don't even talk about because it's just a small thing, but I love that the grill grates don't move when you go to clean off the grill grates after a cook. When you take your grill brush and you're really going to town trying to get all of that extra food off of the grill grates, a lot of the grill grates from different manufacturers really move around while you're trying to clean them, and with this, it doesn't move, and you can get the leverage you need to get the dried and stuck food off to get ready for your next cook. I also want to talk about the Wi-Fi on this unit. I've connected probably 10 grills to Wi-Fi over the last year, and by far, the Traeger was the easiest to connect to Wi-Fi out of all of them. There's a QR code that you scan with your phone that walks you through the whole entire process, and it was the simplest connection I've ever had. It took me probably 2 or 3 minutes to go from nothing all the way to fully connected, and I gotta say, it was just easy. In addition to that, I really like the fact that this is a Wi-Fi enabled grill. It allows me to use the app and to be able to connect to it while I'm inside at the office, or even while I'm away from the house, and know exactly what's going on my grill. So I love the fact that there's Wi-Fi, and I love the app. The app gives you the ability to change your temperature. It shows you how many pellets are remaining. If you've connected your thermometer to the grill and you have that into your meat, it'll tell you the doneness of your meat. You can set it to just keep it warm. There's so many different options that I really enjoy about this unit when it comes to Wi-Fi and this Wi-Fi controller. One of the things that this grill has that you don't find on many other pellet grills are custom cook cycles. These are recipes that have already been made for you that tell you the preset temperature that your grill should be, and it gives you the meat to get. It tells you what you should do from a rub perspective or a marinade, and it walks you through the process from start to end of how to actually cook something that you've never cooked. That's really neat that they have this built into the grill, and for those of you who are actually getting into smoking, or you actually have found yourself only doing 2 or 3 things on the smoker and you want to venture out, this gives you a whole lot of options that are really built into your grill, and you just have to tell it to start, put the meat on, and it will walk you through the entire process. A really cool feature from Traeger, and you can see why they're one of the leaders in the category. Another thing is you'll actually get cleaning reminders on the front of the unit, on the app, and on the grill itself. So if you haven't taken the chance to actually clean out the pellet cup, or vacuum out the inside of the grill, or actually clean the grease pan, any of those things, you'll get reminders on the grill and on the app to make sure that your grill is running at peak efficiency. The remote shutdown is another one of my favorite features here on the grill, because all I have to do is on the app, I can go to the shutdown portion, and you actually take your finger and you run it down and you turn the fire off. It's a neat little way to do it, but it allows me to be inside and say, yep, I've got to turn off the grill, and to swipe my finger down and the grill goes into a shutdown mode. Now that shutdown mode takes about 25 minutes, and it's nice to be able to make sure that you have it off. I also love the fact that I can check that from the app inside to see if my grill is on or off or what it's set to. It's a cool feature. The Traeger Ironwood 885 also has a probe port. Now, if you've ever had a pellet grill or a grill that doesn't have a probe port, you know that every time you take a meat thermometer and you want to put it into a piece of meat, about the only option is to run it all the way through that door, and you're shutting the door on that probe cable. Now that's a great way to make sure that your probe cables need replaced, but with the probe port, it just gives you a little place to put your probes through the grill and make sure it gets into the meat without having to interface with the door at all. Love the fact that they included that on here. Another one is the hopper clean out. Now, if you actually have a flavor of pellets in the grill and you're cooking something where that flavor of pellets doesn't work, there's a pellet hopper clean out that all you have to do is actually open that up, and you can drain all of the pellets that are inside and replace them with a different type of pellet. If you've ever had a pellet grill that doesn't have that, you're really stuck with whatever pellet you put in there, and that's the flavor you're going to cook with no matter what you have. So we have a couple pellet grills here at the lab that don't have a clean out. Love that this one has the clean out. I have to mention also the ease of use of this grill. That's one of the things that I think is one of the greatest features, is how easy this is to use. There's a lot of pellet grills around the market today that they're relatively easy to use, but there's just things about them that don't quite jive, and they might be a little off. With Traeger, things seem to just be smooth all the way through, and I have yet to run into something where I go, man, they didn't think that through really well, or man, that's kind of a weird process. Traeger has taken everything from getting it out of the box all the way to running your favorite recipes really, really easy, and it's hard not to love Traeger for that. I want to make sure I mention the side shelf and the tool hooks. Now that we have quite a few different units around here who don't have a side shelf or don't have a place to hang your tools, but this grill actually has a side shelf, and it has 3 different tool hooks on the front. Now, I love the fact that the side shelf is actually stainless steel. I don't worry about it rusting. I don't worry about putting things on it. I don't worry about having to clean it off. It's just going to be exactly what I need and where I need it. So that's a lovely little benefit. The Ironwood 885 has casters on the bottom that allow you to move it around just about any flat surface you'd like. 2 of the casters are actually locking casters, and that means that the grill's not going to go anywhere when the wind flares up, or if you happen to be on a slanted driveway or anything like that. I love that those casters are locking and make sure that the grill's going to stay put. An interesting feature that I've never run into before on this model Traeger is their downward exhaust. Now, on most models of pellet grill, one of the things that they're known for is having an exhaust pipe that comes out of the top, or even maybe the middle of the cooking chamber with a little bit of a rain cap on top. Traeger has something called the downward exhaust, where the exhaust comes out of the back of the unit and is actually fired down before it goes up. It's a really interesting way to handle the exhaust, and it makes it all that much more weatherproof for cooking in all types of weather. We often recommend to pellet grill owners to put a high temp gasket around the cooking chamber door to be able to keep the smoke in and keep it from leaking out where the door actually meets the cooking chamber. Well, the nice thing about this one is Traeger has done that for us. There already is a high temp gasket around the cooking chamber door where the door closes. That's just a great feature. I love that they've included this on there. It takes the added cost out of having to do it yourself later, and it's a nice oven type gasket. I really like it. Now, it's not fair to look at just the things we liked. We also have to look at some opportunities for improvement. Now, one of the things that I see on a lot of pellet grills that they don't have on this is a bottom shelf. Now, we talked about how sturdy the unit is and how it's not really going anywhere, but it would be nice to have a bottom shelf down there to be able to throw a bag of pellets on, to be able to keep some of the cooking accessories that we use. So I think it'd be cool to have a bottom shelf down there. Not a necessity, but it's an improvement I think would actually add to the value of this grill. Another potential improvement could be actually making access to the flame pot for direct searing. And we talked about how there's that grease tray that goes the length of the grill and there's no direct access to the fire pot. Well, that's one of the signature hallmarks of Traeger, but I actually find that I do miss the ability to go on and sear directly over the fire pot on occasion. Now, is it a deal breaker for me? No, it's definitely not. But it's a way that they can improve this grill, I think, and make it so you can actually have more opportunities to cook in different ways. One final opportunity for improvement I want to talk about is how you turn the grill off. There's no power button on the front of the unit that says push this for power or power off, push here. The first time I used the grill, I got done and I went, how do I turn the unit off? When you push that ready button in for a couple seconds, it'll actually turn the grill into shutdown mode. Maybe just a little label on top that says to power off, push here, or something like that would be nice. But otherwise, just read the manual. I guess you'd know that, right? So overall, what are our thoughts about the Traeger Ironwood 885? Well, the Traeger Ironwood 885 is an incredibly easy to use and well thought out pellet grill and smoker. I wish all grills were this easy to use and had these features. It's an incredibly cool smoker, and it takes the challenge out of making mouth-watering meals for the family, friends, and even the neighborhood. It's a grill that spoils you, and it makes you want to tackle recipes that you've never tried before, especially with the app and the built-in recipes that are just pre-programmed. The Ironwood 885 has the potential to change the way that you cook, and I believe if you put one of these in your backyard, you're going to find yourself out there much more often. If you want to learn more about the Ironwood 885 from Traeger, check out the link in the description below. It'll allow you to see the current price and if there's any current sales or promotions that we're aware of on this unit. And if you'd like an even deeper dive into this unit, go ahead and check us out on our website at thebarbecuelab.com. On that website, we have more details, product photos, we go more in depth into everything that we talked about on this video, and we'd love to have you join us there. Now, if you're on Instagram, we'd love to have you join us over on that platform. We're constantly posting about deals that we're aware of in the barbecue world and behind the scenes information on everything that we do here at the lab. When new grills come in, we take pictures and photos. When we're getting ready to post something on the YouTube channel, we put all of that there as well. We'd love to have you join us if you're on that platform. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things if you like what you're seeing here on the channel. We make these videos for you because we want you to see the best in barbecue and understand what you can do to make your backyard the place for people to be. I'm David Gafford, and I can't wait to see you back here next time as we review the best in outdoor cooking and outdoor living. We'll see you soon.